meeting of the Land Use and Transportation Council Committee meeting. It's our, and we are calling it to order at 5 p.m. I'm Jack Walsh. Chair Dovey has asked me to conduct since he is out of town, so I will be chairing it. And we are here with committee member Han Tran, and also we have Deputy Mayor Honda and Council Member Paul McDaniels. So, and
I'm also here.
Oh, and Lydia is online. Councilmember Asefa Dawson is online. Thank you, Councilmember. And so, is there any public comment? Yes, we do have public comment.
Yay. You can take as long as you want, 30, 40 minutes.
I'll be quick.
So have 3 minutes for public comment. You know.
All right.
If you choose to go shorter, that's fine too.
Great. For the record, Brett Jacobson. I am the developer developing the building at the corner of 1st and 348th. I'm just here to, thank staff for helping us out getting language in the ordinance for the MFTE. And I'm just here to ask for your help in expediting that ordinance and the revised language to allow for, and I'm hoping we can get a first and second reading of that ordinance at the next council meeting. So.
So.
Pregnant pause.
So, all right.
All right. Well, thank you
Okay,
again.
all right, thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you. All right. And with that.
May I ask why you'd like a first and second reading at next week? Or whenever the next meeting is?
It's so that we can not be at a competitive disadvantage and be able to occupy units that are coming online and take advantage of the MFTE program that you guys have approved.
So when do you expect the units to be coming online?
As soon as possible, so September, hopefully in September.
Okay.
And I think one of the reasons why he's asking for it to be moved quicker than normal is because of the time of year we're in, where there's only one council meeting in August, that basically items from this agenda don't get to council until September. So if it goes on the normal track, and then because we're a referendum city, there's 30 days after the ordinance is approved by council. So it would push it all the way till October if it goes normal cycle. Okay. And I think he's just hoping it would move faster than that.
Okay, because that's pretty unusual for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. Thank you. All right, we will move on to committee business. Item A, approval of the minutes of the July 10, 2023 meeting.
I move approval of minutes July 10, 2023.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It passes unanimously. Item B, authorization to apply for and accept the stormwater capacity grant. And Mr. Dew.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. I think. Well, hold. Let me back up for just a minute. I think that I excused Chair Dovey. In case I didn't, I'm excusing him now. So he is out of town, out of the country, actually. So. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Number 4. There we go. Oh, it totally is on top. It totally is on. There we go. And I got share. Good evening, committee members. My name is Kevin Dew. I'm the Water Quality Program Supervisor for Public Works. I'm here asking for authorization to apply for and accept Ecology Stormwater Capacity Grant. And so the policy question today is, should City Council authorize Public Works to apply for this stormwater capacity grant and accept it if awarded. So a little bit of background information about the Stormwater Capacity Grant is that it's been offered since 2013. It's offered every 2 years and it's non-competitive. And the purpose of the grant is to help cities implement their stormwater permit requirements. And for this upcoming application, we're expected to be awarded at around $130,000. Previously, we were awarded $75,000, so there's a huge increase from the previous award. And the deadline to apply is by September 30th this year. And so these are some of the programs that help us meet our stormwater permit requirements and some uses for the grant. So our public education outreach program, one of our notable programs will be the Storming the Sound with Salmon program, where we have salmons in the tanks in all the schools in the Federal Way, and also community center. And also maintaining our stormwater infrastructure, storm drains, ditches, ponds, make sure our city doesn't flood. Our water quality monitoring program, where we monitor the creeks in the Federal Way, assess their health, and if any impairments, figure out why and fix them. Our illicit discharge detection and elimination program, which is to prevent pollution from entering our storm drains, therefore preventing them from entering our waterways, our lakes, and the Puget Sound. And also, our permit cycle is ending in 2024. Therefore, Ecology will be issuing a new permit with new requirements, and this fund could help us implement and meet those new requirements. And so the options considered today are to approve the grant application and accept the funds, or to not approve the grant application and to provide direction to staff.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions?
Chair Lydia has her hand up on Zoom.
Oh, Lydia, yes, sorry about that. Go ahead, Lydia.
Great, no worries, thank you. This question is for either one of you, EJ or anyway, Ken, right? Anyway, my question is, how does this relate to, or does it benefit us with our RIA 9 in any way, form, or shape?
Could you repeat that, Lydia? You kind of got caught a little bit.
I was just asking about our partnership with RIA 9. Is there, how does it relate to that, or is there any connection to that program by doing this, or does it benefit us in that way?
For at least for our stormwater permit requirements, I don't believe this fund would affect any RIRA related programs.
Okay, thank you. That was my question.
Right, thank you. Do we have a motion?
Acting Chair, I move approval. Hang on a second here. I get the wrong line. I move to forward the proposed authorization to apply for and accept the stormwater capacity grant to the September 5th, 2023 consent agenda for approval.
I second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we will go on to item C on the agenda, amendment to the comprehensive garbage, recyclables, and compostables collection contract. And Staff Kovar.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Kovar. I am the Environmental Services Contract Coordinator, and I'm here to talk to you today about the proposed amendment to our contract with WM, formerly Waste Management. The policy, oh, hold on, where's my apologies? I have to figure out how to get out of Kevin's. There we go.
You should play music during this time. You should sing.
I can't hit slideshow. I don't know what's going on here. I appreciate that. Okay, let's try that again. The policy question before you is, should the City Council approve Amendment 1 to the Comprehensive Garbage, Recyclables, and Compostables Collection Contract? The King County Solid Waste Division sets the fees for the Cedar Hills landfill, which is where our contractor takes the waste that is generated by Federal Way. Fees are currently calculated solely on the amount of garbage tipped into the landfill. So that tonnage is what constitutes our current rate. In 2024, the King County Solid Waste Division will change the calculation so that there is a fixed component and then a reduced tipping fee tonnage. So the fixed cost is to keep them operating as we reduce the amount of garbage we produce, hopefully, reduce the amount of garbage we produce. So because of this, all of the cities and their waste haulers are updating contracts so that the terms of the contract actually match what the county is doing. And the amendment enables our hauler to meet the obligations, both of the contract and of the county. And the amendment is acceptable to WM. This is a breakdown of the fees. As you can see, they end up being the same as if they hadn't split it. So it's the same total amount, just split into two components. For the customers, there should be no change whatsoever. Obviously, the county raises its rates as necessary, periodically raises its rates. So that will impact the customer, but it would do so whether the rate had been restructured or not. So the customers themselves should see no change in their bill, and there is going to be no line itemization on the bill. And the recommendation from the mayor's office is to approve the proposed contract amendments. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
All right. Anyone have questions? All right, I'm seeing no questions. Thank you very much for your presentation.
I move to forward the proposed amendment to the September 5th, 2023 consent agenda for approval.
I second the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes unanimously. Thank you. And next, Jeff Hune, did I say that right?
Yes.
Hune, okay. The item D, 2022 pavement repair project acceptance.
Good evening. Chair Walls, committee members, council members, my name is Jeff Han. I'm the civil engineer for the City of Federal Way, and I'm presenting the 2022 pavement repair project acceptance to committee. So the council accept the 2022 pavement repair project constructed by Puget Paving and Construction as complete. Prior to release of the retainage on a public works construction project, the City Council must accept the work as complete to meet the requirements of the State Departments of Revenue, Employment, Securities, and Labor and Industries. The 2022 pavement repair project constructed by Puget Paving and Construction is complete. The final construction contract amount is $325,439. This is $24,561 below the authorized maximum contract amount. The options before committees are: 1, authorize acceptance of the 2022 pavement repair project constructed by Puget Paving and Construction in the amount of $325,439 as complete. 2, do not authorize acceptance of the 2022 pavement repair project and provide direction to staff. The mayor recommends forwarding option 1 to the September 19, 2023 City Council consent agenda for approval. And staff is available for any questions you may have.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions? No?
I have a question.
Yes, Deputy Mayor Honda.
So it would go to this September 5th, not, I thought I heard the 19th.
Because we don't have the council meeting until the September 19th. I think we skipped August.
No, we have a
No.
September 5.
No, this should be going to the September 5th meeting.
What's that?
September 5th, the deputy mayor is correct.
Yeah, September 5 meeting, yes. So, and I think that's the way it is
And
on
that's the
the,
way it is on the
Yep.
committee recommendation.
yep. Okay. All right.
Okay, I move to forward option 1 to September 5th, 2023 consent agenda for approval.
I second the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It carries unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next on the agenda, item E, ordinance MFTE application deadline. And Keith Niven. Thank you, Director Niven.
Good evening, Acting Chair Walsh, Committee Member Tran, Deputy Mayor Honda, Councilmember McDaniel, and Council Member Sefa Dawson. So a month ago, when we brought forward some amendments to our code relating to multifamily tax exemption, it was to expand the multifamily tax exemption provisions to the BC zone. And that was a recommendation that came from Heartland. And during that process, we received public comment asking that the city look at the process, excuse me, about when the application needs to be made for applying for the multifamily tax exemption. So the policy question in front of the City Council this evening is, should the City Council amend Title III of the Federal Way Revised Code to provide increased flexibility for an MFTE applicant to submit an application anytime prior to the issuance of certificate of occupancy? So what's in the ordinance? Right now, the proposed changes are to the timing for submitting an application. This is really a procedural change only, not a change to substance. There's also some non-substantive cleanup revisions in the ordinance as well. But those are really just cleaning up things that have already expired and should have been cleaned up last time and we didn't catch, or I didn't catch. So the process right now, the current code reads, before the earlier of A, an application for land use approval process under Federal Way Revised Code Title 19, and B, an application for building permit or other construction permit. So that's the way the code reads right now. And what's being asked for and proposed is that we change that to prior to temporary certificate of occupancy or final certificate of occupancy. And this is a process that is similar to Auburn and Kirkland. And that is what is in front of you this evening. So the mayor's recommendation is option 1, to approve the funding of well, that is not accurate. Although, please do that tomorrow night. Mayor's recommendation is option 1, to approve the proposed code amendments, regardless of what the slide says. So with that, I am more than happy to answer any questions you may have. And obviously, we heard public comment this evening asking if the city council would consider moving this forward for first and second reading at the September 6th meeting.
Councilmember McDaniel.
Yeah, a couple quick questions. Making these adjustments, what does that buy the city? And then also, what does that cost the city? Because I know this is a changing on, if I understand correctly, for doing the abatement. Is that what this is implied to? Is this?
So no, this is, so right now, there is a process that is authorized by state statute that allows the city to offer a property tax exemption for a limited period of time as a tool to help build and develop more housing within the city. And right now, that application needs to be applied for by a builder either prior to land use permit or prior to issuance of a construction or building permit. And what's being asked for is that we allow that application to happen later in the construction process to give the developer a little bit more flexibility to actually make that application. So what does it give the city? I would say it really doesn't give us anything other than a process that might be perceived by builders as being more friendly to those builders by giving them more flexibility.
And the flexibility is on the property tax?
It's just the timing for the application.
For the application, but the application is in order to apply for that, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, so in the end, and we're changing it from they need to make the decision up front to they have up to the point of literally moving someone in then?
They can't move someone in until they get certificate of occupancy. So this is the bar by which this would be set. It needs to happen before that.
Okay, and right now it's required, from what you said, when they actually decide they start building?
Right, when they actually submit for the permits, yeah.
Okay, and then the concept is that it's to incentivize them to actually build in Fedway? Provide opportunities, at least, or a better scenario for them?
So the tool is there to encourage more housing development in the city. This particular code amendment is just to make that tool a little bit more flexible for the builder.
Okay, and it's still 4 units and larger, correct?
Yes,
So
sir.
it's not for smaller builders or anything? Okay,
It has to be at least 4.
okay.
And just to add one additional comment there, the city quite recently expanded this program to an additional zone that it was not allowed previously. So I think part of the intent with this code amendment is to allow developers that were further along in the process, too far along in the process under the old code, that they would not be able to take advantage of the program. Now that they're able to take advantage of the program because they're in a zone that now the program applies to, they might still be able to get in and take advantage of the program with this extension essentially of when they can apply, if that makes sense.
Right. Deputy Mayor Honda.
That's just one development, though, right, that would be able to take advantage of it?
Currently, I believe there's only one development we're aware of, but it would obviously apply equally to any other development that might be
In
in
the
that same
future.
situation.
But currently, there's just one.
Do you know of any others, Keith?
No, there's only one in the pipe, so to speak.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, the questions I had were answered, so anyway. I see no further questions.
I actually have
Deputy Mayor Honda has another question.
So we would have a public hearing then on September 5th?
Yes.
Well,
I
what
believe that
is,
to be true. Would you agree, Kent?
I don't think we need a public hearing for this, do we? Or am I missing something?
Does it?
So the committee recommendation is to move forward the proposed ordinance to public hearing and first reading on September 5th.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of why we would need a public hearing. I'll figure that out in the meantime. That could be a leftover from the fact that we needed a public hearing for the designation of the new MFTE area in the first place. Regardless, I'll confirm that in the meantime.
So I would be concerned with having first and second reading if we were doing a public hearing the same night, because that doesn't give the public enough time to give us the feedback we might need. So we should find out.
True enough. And I also should mention that there's no necessity for you guys to make the decision as to whether there's a joint first and second reading right now, I don't think. I think that's something, I wonder if we could do that via agenda setting.
Is there a set procedure for that?
Well, ideally, it would be in the motion itself, which is, I believe, why Deputy Mayor Honda is bringing it up. But can you, the public hearing question seems like an important one to Deputy Mayor Honda's point. Is there any reason that you can think of why we would need a hearing for this? I can't think of one.
I don't play in Title III much, but I don't think so.
Do you have a friend you can call?
Not who knows any better,
Would
unfortunately.
it be, well, I don't think that we have any other questions on this. Other than that, would it be feasible to go on to the last item on the agenda while some quick research is being done on that, and then we take the action?
Hopefully I can have a certain answer by that point, but yes, I believe we can do that.
Okay. All right. What's that? Yeah. So let's, so what is the proper procedure?
So
for-
if you want to jump agenda items, I think since you started discussion on this, you have to table it for the time being, and then go to the agenda item, and then have a second motion to pull it back off the table, or pull it back on, sorry, onto the table for discussing it.
Okay. You want to make a motion to table it until after the next item is discussed?
Okay, I move to table item E to go after item F. Would that work?
Yeah.
All right.
That's
And
fine.
I second the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. So, all right. And that takes us to item F, progress update on the sound transfer projects of Federal Way. Kent Smith.
Hey, Ken, before you start, can you keep talking for the next like 20 minutes so that they don't,
Hey,
so they don't break my records?
Kent, we want to make this quick and snappy.
Yeah, I don't know if I have that.
He needs as much time as we can give him.
If you have lots of questions, maybe. Okay. So good evening. I'm Kent Smith with the Public Works Department. I'm here for the update on the sound transit activities in the City of Federal Way. Come on. So for everything north of 317th Street, the new play structure for Mark Twain Elementary is being installed, along with some landscaping, a little bit of extra work in that area. Realignment and restoration of Bingham Creek has begun. There is a new traffic signal at Military Road South and South Star Lake Road that's scheduled for installation in early August. They're continuing with their storm drain, landscaping, plinths, noise wall construction, systems, Nux Bank, ballast installation, OCS, MSC wall along the whole corridor, as well as rail delivery installation and welding. For City Center, the phase closure of 23rd Avenue South continues, which limits the travel to the single lane along 23rd Avenue. They're still in phase one for the next probably couple of weeks, at which point they will move over to and put the traffic on the newly constructed lanes, and the same configuration essentially with a single direction going north will continue while they build the other half of the road. Sewer, water, and additional utility work also ongoing for South 317th. And the paving work continues, so there's still a little bit left before they do the flip. Station work ongoing with structural steel, framing, plumbing, electrical, mechanical, and then platform level glass work. Construction of the garage is wrapping up with the deck pours. The last one is scheduled for this week, with potentially some additional pours related to some columns and a couple other things. End of line facility, interior work is ongoing. And then design of the artwork in the station vicinity is being further refined with fabrication scheduled for next year, as well as potentially the installation of the foundation for the artwork beginning towards the end of the summer. For Operations and Maintenance Facility South, Sound Transit continues to collaborate with the city staff on individual design elements. FTA, so Federal Transit Administration, and Sound Transit have begun to coordinate for the NEPA and SEPA environmental review. Based on their current schedule, the DEIS is expected in the Q4 of 2023, and their FEIS is expected around Q2 of 2024, with then a Sound Transit Board action to follow, which would be an action build. Finally, for Tacoma Dome Link Extension, I don't have any significant updates since the last LUTC meeting. We're continuing to work with cities, with Sound Transit, or continue to work with city staff on individual design elements. And then I'll answer any questions.
All right. Deputy Mayor Honda.
Thank you, and I'm going to talk really slow. All right, so when 23rd is being paved, on the side that's currently being used as a road, is that going to impact the McDonald's in any way?
Slightly. They have a plan to keep one side of the entrance open at all times while they do that concrete work right there. So it'll have a slight impact, but they're not expecting to be significant, though.
And McDonald's is aware of that?
Yes.
Okay, good. As for the artwork, there are 2 other pieces that are going in at the station, correct? Other than the
So there's
pole, whatever is on the pole.
Yes. So there's the Donald Lipsky artwork. That's the lamp. There is a installation that goes onto the garage. Then the High Five statue gets relocated.
Is that being relocated at the station?
Yes, into
okay.
into the paratransit and the kiss and drop area, which would be adjacent to 320th. Adjacent to 320th, in the corner between 320th and 23rd.
So will we have a chance to see what the other pieces of art are, the new pieces, before they go up?
I believe they've been, the same
We've
designs
seen-
were already presented.
Yeah, we've seen kind of a little bit, but
Okay.
we haven't seen the final.
Okay, I can ask them if they'd like to provide an update. I don't think it's any different than what you've seen already.
Okay.
But I'm sure they'd certainly be willing to do another presentation.
And the art on the pole, the lamp,
Yes.
is that completely designed? Is that done? Or
No,
is he
there's
still working on it?
Still working on refining the design with the expectation that it would be fabricated next year.
Okay. When does the end of the line building open?
The plan is, I believe, for next July for it to be operational with the certificate of occupancy. So at that point, it could actually open.
Does that have any artwork associated with that?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. And then do we know when we'll get any update on going from Federal Way through Belmore Park to the OMF and then on to Fife?
Okay, so the first stretch that goes through Belmore Park will be a part of the OMF South project. So we'll have an update basically once they get further along on their NEPA process, when they've basically done their DEIS. The next stretch, I don't have much of an update other than they're still on the time frame that they were. I think the last time I updated about
So
3 or 4 RUTCs.
is there any information, any new information for the Belmore Park folks that are waiting to find out?
Nothing since since they've been contacted. They're still looking at the same number of properties that are impacted. It hasn't changed.
Okay, thank you.
Right, thank you. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much, Kent. So,
Thanks.
Kent, thank you. All right. Do we have any,
I believe we now need a motion to untable,
okay,
and then, yes, we do have an answer.
all right. Do you want to make a motion to take it off, to untable it, take it off the table?
Okay, I move to
Untable.
untable item E.
I second the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Approved unanimously.
We do not need a public hearing, so the correct motion would, I'll give you the two options. The first one would be, I move to forward the proposed ordinance to first reading on September 5th, 2023. That's if you want to do only first reading. If you want them to be joint, the motion would be, I move to forward the proposed ordinance to to a joint first reading and second reading on September 5th, 2023.
Does any of the council see a reason not to do first and second reading together?
I have issue with it.
Okay. All right. I see no issue with it myself, but what,
You know, there are two, the chair's not here and the council president's not here. I don't want to make that decision. Could we decide that night if we want to do first and second?
I think there is some flexibility between now and when the night happens, the next council meeting, to change things around on the schedule and have it jointly, if that's the desire of everybody after you've talked.
okay.
I think we
So
should.
if we make it for just first reading, we could change that later on?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the new motion would be, I move to forward the proposed ordinance to
First reading.
first reading
On September 5th.
on September 1st, 2023.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so,
So I have one more question before you
yeah,
second that.
go ahead.
So before the agenda is published, we can change that to first and second, if so desired?
I wish the clerk were here to answer that definitively, but I believe the answer is yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, thank you.
Okay.
Do you want me to reread it, or?
If I were you, I'd just say so moved.
I believe you could say so moved.
Okay, so moved.
And I second the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And any other, I don't think there's any other business. Our next meeting of the LUTC will be September 11th, 2023 at 5 p.m. And we are adjourned.